sit here drinking, can't help my way of thinking about a love that once used to be. As I sit here on the stool, I keep drinking like a fool. I'm just drowning, yeah, haunting memories. Memories of you and a love that went wrong are clinging to me since you've been gone.
And Joey was just a little boy. He was the youngest of 9 children. He had 1 sister and 7 brothers, and they all were a musical family. There was none of them that wouldn't be able to play an instrument. His uncle, actually, I remember him saying, taught him to play guitar. And then, of course, with his brothers being so musical, he got to play in the bands with all the brothers. And anyway, he was just, very, very young age. And that's why he started playing music at a very young age. And his dad, he would play the harmonica.
Oh yeah, how we doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? We hope that you all have a good time this afternoon. Right now we're just going to take time out for a minute to sort of introduce the band so we all know who we are. Right there on my far right we have Mr. Joe Keyboard, all the way from Ferguson, New Brunswick. Right here beside me is my tall brother Norman, Mr. Walking Tall, Carolyn Vautour. Back there on the drums we have Mr. Eric Richards, all the way from Menton, New Brunswick. All right. And myself, the guy with the big mouth, Joe Vautour.
He also had a band with his brother Norman, and they played the Cougars. And he did that for a long, quite a little while. They played a local at the Minto Legion, and he started out doing all that first before he started playing on the road. And they formed a band and they did good. And later on, he had got other musicians that played with him, and from Ontario, and they all got together and they played at the Irving Corral a lot in Moncton. And I remember years and years, and then the Hideaway Club in St. John, and the Gallery of Sounds in Fredericton, and just a lot of different places where they'd all play. And then that's when after that he started making his career and playing on the road a lot, because he was asked to do that. And then he was asked by Larry Code, actually, had asked him to do a recording, and that was in '84 that he did in Nashville. So he did that, and that went very well. And then the family had him a huge big party, like a big celebration when he came home. So he did that, and then he did very well with those songs. And then he was also nominated on the Rising Star and award. We went to Ottawa and had that. Actually, never forgot that. Our seat was assigned, and it was right beside Wayne Gretzky. I'm trying to think of the Tommy Hunter show, and Tanya Tucker and Mickey Gilley was on that show. And that was a huge, huge success for him to do that. And back in the time, that was a big thing when you were doing all that in the 80s. And so it just went from there. A lot of other places that he had played, and like I said, the Calgary Stampede, and then he just did all the tours after that. We were so young when we met. I remember that there was a big house party that Ida's family was having, and she invited my mom and I to go over. They always played music, and her and Calvin was going to be there. So we went, and we met that way. We didn't think nothing of it. We were just going over, and just for a little sing-song, I guess, for us. And it just seems like after that, something clicked, because I just kind of noticed him looking at me. And then I was shy. I was very, very shy. And then I'd look away. And then, anyway, after that, he would ask Ida when I was living, of course, with I was living with Mom a little later on, but at first I lived with my grandparents. So, and he'd asked Ida when I would be coming over to visit at her house. So it went from there, and then we were just kids. Like, we were just, it's strange because we were kids. But we didn't, I don't know, we just seemed to have a lot in common and loved his music, loved his personality. He was just so well loved and easy to get to know. And I moved to Minto and went to school over there. And then we still kept seeing each other, and he'd play music. Anyway, and playing hockey, and we were just kind of always together. So then after that, we were very young, but we ended up getting married at a very young age, and never ever regretted a day. Usually people young, and they'll say, oh, I don't know if that's going to last. But anyway, he was just a really, really special man. And we had Stacy, and then everything was great with her. We loved her. And then we had Jason 5 years later. So we made our family with him, and Joey was still playing music, and then he was still working with his brother Ernie. He was working on construction and started with that, and then he ended up going playing music on the road, and he did that pretty well full time for quite a few years. And then he did that. He got bookings. He was really good at doing the bookings and doing all that. He used to have an agent, but he said, no, I think I can do it better on my own. And he actually got out to play at the Calgary Stampede, which was a really big, big thing for him. That was amazing. So then he got playing Western Canada. I remember he had his group, and they played out there. And then he ended up going to Ontario, which he toured there like a lot, quite a bit. And then he did that for quite some time and played around our area as well. And then I don't know how many years, but then he got tired of just doing that circuit back, around. And then he did that for quite some time. Like, he played music all his life. And then he got to do the Minto Festival. And he started doing that, and nobody was really doing a whole lot with it at the time. And then he did that whole weekend, and that was a really successful event. And before he passed, it would have been his 12th year. So that was amazing, and it went over really well. It was a big plus for the Minto area and the Grand Lake area.
Hi there, how are you? Good to see you. See you guys. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you. Yeah, there he is. How you doing? Good.
Yeah. I like the view down there.
Mr. Flowers, you better be smiling. You're on candid camera.
The last year before he passed, he had a lot of friends, and they wanted him, especially Jerry Flowers, wanted him to do a gospel CD. And he did that. And also Ralph Musraw. They went to a big party. Actually, it was a great big lobster do they had down at Donnie Mowat's. And anyway, he went there, and he met Ralph Musraw, which was from Hoyt, and they did a lot of gospel, and he asked them, how come you never did a gospel CD? And Joey said, well, I was thinking about it, but I never got around to it. So anyway, him and Jerry got talking, and all three of them got talking about doing that CD. So anyway, he ended up doing that gospel CD, which still today, he's been gone 14 years, still people are playing and actually wondering where to buy that CD. And yeah, we're very pleased with that. And then he had his Playhouse show when he did that CD, and it was a sold out show. He was just you know, you just amazed at that.
Very good friends. We've been very, very good friends for a long time. Yeah, Joey. He was a good singer. He was a great entertainer, lover of life, real good to people. Made you feel good just by being around him. He was that type of guy. Yeah, a great father, great husband, great brother, great son, great friend, and a great entertainer. And I went down to the funeral home on Tuesday in Minto. The family honored me to say a few words yesterday. I basically said that I had promised Joey that I would introduce him and sing a song at his show on the 29th at the Playhouse. And I told the congregation that I wanted to keep that promise. So I did an introduction, just as I would have done it at the Playhouse during the funeral. I'd asked everybody to stand. This is his last ovation. Make noise, clap, hoop, holler, cheer, whistle, whatever you wanted to do. But I said, from the coal mining community of Minto, the beautiful Pitcher province of New Brunswick, from one of the greatest countries in the world, a great man, a great father, a great son, a great friend, and a great entertainer. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Knight. They stood and they clapped, they hooped, they hollered, and they whistled.
Thank you. Before I get saying anything too serious, I would like to introduce you to my daughter. And
She's just like Grampy.
just like Grampy. This is Joey's, my dad's granddaughter, Chloe. Papa always used to play the guitar for her and always made her dance. So I made a promise to my mom and my wife that I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. And I promised Brent that I wouldn't put no people to sleep here tonight. But first of all, let's give a big hand to Brent and Everett Porter for putting it all on for us. Exactly, these people treated us and gave us a nice VIP place to sit, and they were really, really first class, and we'll never ever forget them for that. Every time some newspapers or radios or anybody always calls and asks about Dad, I always say to them, I said, I always looked at my dad like anybody else. He was a father, and we always seen him as Dad, but now I finally see what he has done to everybody. And I see the power that this man had and how much love that he not only gave us, but he gave each and every one of you. And he's brought us so close to so many wonderful people. And I really, really thank you guys so much for all your support over the past few months. And Chloe, you're making my speech not serious no more. But you're just like Papa, right? But I really want to tell you from my mom and the bottom of my heart, my sister, our whole family, just thank you so much for being there for us. You don't understand how good it makes us feel in this sad time. And I just really, really want to thank you so much for loving us, and we love you so much back.
I just want to say a few things. May 7, 2011 was the most difficult day of our lives when we lost the best dad in the world. If you looked up the definition of father in the dictionary, there would be a picture of him. He was everything a dad is supposed to be. He was so great because of the wonderful person he was. The stage was his home, and singing and entertaining was his passion. I may be a bit prejudiced, but in my opinion, no one will ever be able to fill his shoes. I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to the organizers of the Brex, as my brother just did. For all the performers here tonight, the entertainers, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for keeping his memory alive. It's been very, very special to all of us. And thank you to all of you for your love and support during these very, very difficult months. We love you, everyone. Thank you.
Warm red wine, I sit here drinking. Can't help my way of thinking about a love that once used to be. As I sit here on the stool, I keep drinking